Okay, here we are on the Federal Reserve Economic Data website, or FRED if you like, and I have open here the graph for gross domestic product. This is nominal gross domestic product, and then in another tab I have real gross domestic product. Okay, back to nominal. So let's go over a few things here. First, and this is important, well, it's all important, but this is especially important. These figures that we have over here that are representing the amount of GDP for each of our years, these are given in billions of dollars. So that means that this 4,000 here is not 4,000 period, it's 4,000 billion. If you write that out and get all your zeros right, then you'll see that this is 4 trillion. Likewise, this is 8 trillion, 12 trillion, and so on. Okay, so that's here, and it's the same over here for real GDP. Okay, back to nominal. You'll see here that the data is given quarterly. You can also see that just by hovering over the line. So here we have quarter 1 of 2011, quarter 2 of 2011, quarter 3, quarter 4. However, this is quarterly, but it's given at an annual rate. So in fact, first quarter of 2011, in that quarter, that is, in those first 3 months of 2011, nominal GDP was actually 1/4 of what we're looking at here. For those 3 months, the value, whatever that would be, was multiplied by 4 so that it would be a number that we could compare to GDP from other years. Okay, so as an annual rate, the first quarter of 2011 was 15.4 trillion. Second quarter was a little higher, 15.5 or 15.6 trillion. Third quarter, 15.64 or 65. Fourth quarter, 15.8 trillion. All right, next, let's go over here to edit graph. And here we can change what we're looking at from quarterly to any of these other ways of reporting the data, semi-annually, every 6 months, or annual. And if we choose annual, we want this to be average. Okay, so 2011 then, so we looked at the values for each quarter in 2011 at an annual rate. If we take just the full value for 2011, we see that it's this here, 15 trillion, 599 billion, 732 million dollars. That's what it is. All right, now let's go over to real gross domestic product. And this again is, right now, it's quarterly, also at an annual rate. And since this is real gross domestic product, we need a base year, and our base year is 2017. All right, now, for the sake of comparison, let's change this to annual average. And we'll compare 2023 real GDP was 22 trillion, 22.3, or call it 22.4 trillion. Now, if we go back to nominal GDP, we see that for 2023, it's going to be quite a bit higher. 27 trillion, well, we'll just call it 27.4 trillion. Same amount of stuff was produced. This is for the United States. We just had what was produced in 2023, but the nominal figure is going to be higher than the real figure. All right, one last thing. So back to nominal GDP. If we scroll down here and select table 1.1.5, then we have this. If we select this calendar icon, we can select any year that we want. Let's see, we'll choose 2018. We can select any month, although it's just going to give us the quarter that month is in. So we'll just choose January. And likewise, you can select any day there, but it's not going to matter. You're just going to end up in whichever quarter it is. Okay, so here we are, first quarter 2018. And that's what we have here in this column right here. These are other quarters that we don't care about. And if we collapse all of this, we have GDP for this quarter, 20.3 trillion, which is going to be the same. Oops, we're not on quarters here. Go back to quarters. What was that? First quarter 2018, 20.328 trillion. Same value, as it should be. Okay, now if we uncollapse this, although clean it up a little bit, we can see that here we have, we'll open this one. Okay, so here we have the different components of GDP that are explained in the reading. So personal consumption expenditures, I think in the reading that's just called consumption expenditures, and that's this is the value here. Here we have gross private domestic investment. I think in the reading that's just called investment. Exports, imports, and this is just government spending, government expenditures. Okay, so what we would find if we took this value here, added this value, investment, added exports, added government spending, and subtracted imports, we would get this total value for GDP. Moreover, we can use these figures here to determine what percentage of GDP was consumption expenditures, what percentage was investment, what percentage was exports, what percentage was government spending, if we wanted to. Okay, I'll stop there.